Good day, everyone, and welcome to end of June ANS Investments Entropia video. So, what do we got? This month I tried a different tactic. I put some money in and I upscaled the formula of our business because I had my mining area sorted out. I had my sales sorted out. I sort of knew what was going on and I started mining with level 5 amps. To be sorely disappointed because they have changed the way they release MUORs, let's just say all MUORs that aren't Listerine and oil. It doesn't really matter if you mine with level 5 amps or a level 1 amp. The thing about it is, if they're only going to release 100 ignits of erdorium today or this hour, that's all they're going to release. They're not going to give you a tower of erdorium because you're using level 5 amps. It's just not feasible. If you think about it, somebody's going to get a large amount of it and just wreck the market. So they're not going to do that. So using amps, higher level amps, for me, I know other people have got other preferences, but for me, I'm out. I'm done with level 5 amps. I'm going to be using my level 1 amp from now on because I've done this test. And the test was 5 runs with level 5 amps, which is a total of 6 amps per run, which is 300 drops per run, which is 1,500 drops versus 1,500 drops of level 1 amp. I did get more erdorium and ignetium because I got a HOF of both, but that was pure luck. But when it came down to looking at all the rest of the amounts, I found that I just got more Listerine and oil and Cumbres, and I didn't really even get more NARC. There were some runs there where I got no NARC and no ignetium. So it for me, I'm not in with the amped mining, the high amped mining. So that's a test that needed to be done. I needed to know. I now know. Not going to do it again. Sales are pretty good. Look, migration or not, sales are steady. People buy stuff at a slow speed. That's just how the game is now. The player base is less. If Mindark's going to continue to think that ripping people's ammo off them real quickly and making money come together in one sentence, they're wrong. You give people ammo so they can spend decay, so they can hunt longer and buy more amps and more guns. Then the crafters make money, then the miners make money, which in turn makes you money. Taking ammo off the hunters real quickly doesn't make any sense. I've probably said this before in another video. I'm going to keep saying it in my videos until they realise. Just do the math quickly in your head. A guy goes out with 1,000 ped with one LR45. You take all of his ped. He spends one gun. He logs off for the week. He doesn't have another $100 to spend. Oh, you give him returns on that on the ammo. He uses 3 guns before he has to log off, or even 5 guns, and maybe even 2 amps. Then he's got no money. Then he logs off. You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. I went out with 3,000 ped of ammo with a token gun, and they just ripped all the ammo off me. I had to put a little bit more in just to be able to use my second token gun. I only bought 2. And I was using an amp. The amp didn't even get broken during that whole time. Whereas if they were a little bit less stingy on their ammo, they would get more cycle in their items. This goes the same with or maybe not mining. Mining probably you should just leave as it is, because we don't want noobs to be able to come in there and get higher levels. We want people like us that have got decent levels to be in a good spot. But for hunters, and I'm not talking about new hunters, I spoke to one of my friends, level 80 looter, 25,000 ped, gone. 25,000, not 2,500, 25,000 ped. Now, how much guns do you think he used if that only took him 2 days? If you had to stretch that out for a month, you still would have ended up with all of his ammo, but he would have used 15 more guns and 5 more amps and paid a heap of more decay on his armor. You see what I'm saying? You guys have got it wrong, and you need to fix it because you're only hurting yourselves. The release of blueprints, the the even the crafting of items now, you know, it's all very tight and screwed up. And I know you think you're making more money, but you're not making more money. You're actually making less money. You got to give to get, is what I'm saying. You can't just put the funnel out and expect everyone to tip in. All right, so that's my advice to you if you were watching. Go out and have a meeting at the back of the office, have some coffees and some whiskey in the coffees, and have a discussion about what I just told you on the video. So, EP Recycle Blueprints, not so much. I think I only got a couple this month. I sold lots of guns, I sold lots of mining materials, and I sold lots of amps, and I even sold some plates, impact plates. Not bad profit there, $6. It adds up. You know, I've already started the next month here, as you can see. Selling a lot of components and stuff, all the stuff I normally sell. So nothing new. Mining returns sitting at 94.41%. Pretty standard. Had a pretty horrible run here, minus 300 PED, minus 37 PED. But look, all in all, I'm not too concerned about mining because mining's what I have the highest level in. Actually, my highest level's in hunting, stupidly enough. But that doesn't seem to matter. It's the mining that I'm concentrating on. You know, summary page, you know, where do we talk about it? I had to talk to a friend saying that the percentage rates in the game are all very similar, and, you know, he doesn't really believe in a personal loot pool. And I'm not saying there is a personal loot pool, but I'm saying that there is a loot pool attached to certain things, like blueprints. And here is the proof right here. You know, I've been showing you guys this summary page for years now. And as you can see, the amounts cycled and the percentages don't really change. They are just fleecing us on certain blueprints. And is it cheaper to go and pay MU for those items? Well, you can sit down and do the math. But then you get no skills. If you don't craft anything, you're not going to get any skills. I'm a level 51 metal engineer. You know how hard that was to get? I know a lot of people are a lot higher, but level 51 wasn't easy to get. And it's because I had to craft all this stuff at all these percentages and just wear the cost, you know? But look, MA, do whatever you want, but I disagree with Conductor 1 and 2 returns. You got a combined 100,000 PED cycle there, and you have nothing in the 90% range. Simple 1 conductors should be 95%, just like basic sensors. It's a rip-off. You need to change it. All right. So our percentage return has gone up 92.21%. We are almost at 2.5 million PED cycle during this experiment. We're at 2.48 million PED, which is $248,000 for those people that don't know the conversion rate. So we haven't not cycled enough money through the game. We've cycled somebody's house through this game. So, you know, we're expecting some sort of fairness, I suppose. Fairness is the word I'd like to say. And seeing a lot of 8s in my summary list here isn't fair. It's not fair. 90s, fair. 80s. I'm looking at an 82 here. It's not fair, man. It's just not fair. So get onto it. Have the meeting in the back office and change some things around. And you might find that your player base might actually grow instead of shrink. Now, word out to one of my favourite YouTube watchers, Mean Commentator. How you going, mate? I responded to Mean Commentator about ROI. And I said that information was only privy to investors. But you know what? I'm feeling pretty good today, so I'm going to let you in. So the ROI on my investment is 15% a year. Investors get paid out once a month on the 5th, which is today. So anyone that hasn't been paid, I know a couple of you guys haven't collected your money for a couple of months, come by. I've got it all there. It's all ready to go. And so they get paid a portion of the 15% every month. They also have purchased the privilege of getting a vote into what happens if I get an ATH. Now, I classify an ATH as 100 grand plus PED, by the way. I don't think I've ever clarified that when I first made that rule up. But guys, it's got to be 100,000 PED plus, because otherwise we're not even reaching our 95% in our business. That won't even scrape it in. But 100,000 PED, they get a vote as investors, and I'll just do a straw poll or something on what happens to the money, whether it gets reinvested into the business or we just split it up between us all. I'm an investor too. So we'll have a percentage rate split up and everyone will get a share and away we go, starting again. So that's what people get when they invest. It isn't a Ponzi scheme. I've already paid out 3 investors. I don't know if any of you other guys, probably something I don't share around, but while we're sharing, I've already had 3 investors collect 2 years plus of APY, APR, whatever you want to call it, ROI, and grab their money back and leave. So that's a little bit of information for you there, man. All right, there's no need to stress this out any further. I've said what I've got to say. All you guys know what's going on. Like I said, come by, collect your cash, and we'll keep riding this pale horse into the sunset. As we approach Unreal Engine 5, we'll probably get more information out of Mindark about what is exactly going to happen in this transition. We don't know. You know how secretive they like to be, and like to keep their cards close to their chest. But I'm thinking, and this is an assumption here, but it's fun to do these. As we all know, Virtuverse has been around for a little while, trying to basically carbon copy Entropia. By the time they get their game running properly, Entropia would have migrated onto Unreal Engine 5, and it will be a completely different game. So today I was watching some of the comments in Rookie, and they think that it's just going to be an engine upgrade to the trees and the dirt and the mobs, but they don't understand. Mindark, from what I've read, and I could be wrong, remember I said this is an assumption statement. From what I've read, when they say the words new skill tree, they're going to change the game drastically. And I mean drastically. I don't mean just a couple of graphical upgrades and a couple of rock formation upgrades. I'm talking full-on drastic change here. You guys probably don't realise that yet, but it's terrifying and exciting all at once. How they're going to deal with landowners, how they're going to deal with deed holders. You know, it's a big thing. It's a big thing, and I'm quite excited for it. So even though we're slogging through the mud now, I'll be very interested to see what that horizon's going to bring when they finally implement that first test moon and let some of us play it, hopefully, in the first quarter of next year. Well, that's what they said they're going to do, release it in the first quarter. Whether they do or not, we don't know. But let's hope they stick to their promise there. And let's hope they go over some of these numbers and, you know, do a little bit of soul searching on what's actually keeping the player base numbers lower than they should be. All right, guys, I'm out. Thanks for watching my video, investors and non-investors. And I'll see you at the end of next month for another video. Ciao.